This video is sponsored by catbeats.com. Design your own snapbacks and hats. catbeats.com. We are beats.
Jesus Christ.
In a previous Rap Grid video, you spoke about how you met Daylyt and you was washing your windows. How did it extend from there? Like, how did you go from where you were living at in LA to where Daylyt was? And how did his lifestyle with the gang ties and so on and so forth, how did that all affect you?
Well, I wasn't living in LA. I was living in Orange County in the suburbs. I was living in Laguna. My mom bought me my first car. I had everything at 17. I was, I guess, well off, you can say. So when I met him, it was pretty much a complete 180. When I met him, instantly I was like, I wanted to go to Watts. So I wanted to see what it was like. So I just moved in with him, and the house was in worst conditions ever. I'm talking about, in my house, we don't have one single roach. His house was roaches and broken furniture and rats and all sorts of things like that. I'm like, oh my God, I'm not used to this. I remember we were sleeping on the couch because he didn't have a bed. So we're sleeping on the couch together, a little couch. And it was probably 5 in the morning. All I hear is squeaking, and I freaked the hell out. And I jumped up and I was like, oh my God. A mouse just went by, and he was like, oh, it's nothing. And I was just like, he's not afraid of this. It's he's so used to this, he's conditioned to this. I thought that was weird, but I stuck with it. I stayed. That didn't drive me away.
True. So did you ever feel in peril or at danger, just knowing that you were in Watts, he was a Grape Street crib,
Well, the crazy thing is, certain, holidays, people would just be shooting randomly. The gunshots would go off. He's like, because I thought they were fireworks. I was like, oh, this is gunshots. I was like, oh, okay.
So you're pretty adaptive. You got over such things quickly.
I'm not, how can I say, I don't fear that, especially at that age, I didn't fear that stuff. I was more curious about that stuff. What's going on? Why is this stuff going on in this area? How come I didn't know about this stuff? I literally lived 45 minutes away from Watts, and I didn't know none of the stuff that was going down in Watts. Watts felt have you seen the movie Pleasantville? In the movie, they describe the street being a square, and that's what Watts felt like. I feel like people in Watts didn't know anything about outside of Watts, and people outside of Watts didn't know nothing about inside of Watts.
They lived in a dome.
It felt like a dome. It literally felt like that. So being in there, I was just like, wow, this is, I wanted to learn more. I wanted to know why these people were like this.
So you were so not used to the lifestyle that it was just brand new to you. So you didn't know what to fear or not to fear. It was just the way things
Yeah,
were.
I was just more curious. Like I said, I wanted to, example, being pulled over. I'm driving my car, my brand, it was 2006. I had a 2007 driving, and I had him in the car with his friend. We get pulled over. He's like, no, you're fine, but them two get out the car. And I was just like, but why? But you pulled me over. No, them two need to get out the car, hands behind your back. I'm like, I don't get it. I didn't understand none of that. They didn't arrest him, thank God, but like I would have went hard at that too, because I knew they were being violated. The one thing the cop told me too, he went up to me and was like, "You're no problem with you. You're from Laguna. You're good. Yeah, you don't have to worry about it. But what are you doing with these hoodlums out here? You should know better than that. You're from Orange County." I was like, "What? What?" Like, and my tags were expired, and I didn't get no ticket, no nothing.
That's crazy.
Like, I had to understand that. I had to like unlearn what I learned from Orange County and learn everything about the hood. Not learn everything in the hood, you know, from the movies' sake. Like, I learned it from their perspective.
And you learned it by watching it, so he didn't even have to tell you. It was
Right. I was just observing it
yeah.
for myself. Yeah.
When did you guys make the transition from where you were staying at and Watts to where you guys are now? Like, so about 2006
So
you
from
met
Watts.
Daylyt?
Yeah, the end of 2006, yeah.
And by what time were you living with them?
Immediately. I was the type of chick, as soon as I met him, I was like, because I'm loyal. So if I see one, because I'm Afghan, we're bred like that. Like, we're bred, like, if we were arranged, immediately that's the person forever for life. So when I met him, it was like forever for life. That's how I felt. And I immediately just like was like, okay, let's live together. Let's figure this out. Let's do this. I'm ready.
So Daylyt, you knew too?
Yeah. Before I moved her in, like, you know, I didn't know how she would feel about my conditions that I was living in. So we actually stayed in the car for like a week or so. Like, we're just living in the car. Like, she's like, you don't ever bring me in the house. I'm just like, fuck it, come on, man. Like, fuck it. You know what I mean? And I showed her, like, yo, like, this is where I lay my head. You know what I mean? Like, and that moment, I didn't know if she would stay or not. You know, I didn't know if she would just be like, nah, I can't take this shit. Like, this is, you know, you gotta think this is a bitch from Orange County. And, yeah, I can say bitch because that word, it has no value in my world. I can say bitch, I can say whore, it doesn't mean anything in my world. It's not offensive in our household, everything goes. Just as well as the word nigger, or nigger, whatever you want to call it. If you say nigga, I'll bust your motherfucking head. But on the flip side, you know, just having her there, you know, and seeing that she wasn't gonna go nowhere, like, that's when I started to understand, like, she was bred different. You know what I mean? Like, she's completely bred different from the average person. And, you know, once I got a little more into her race and you know, how the women in her race works, I started to understand why she wasn't leaving.
Was it a goal of yours? Like, is that seen as like the next level? Like, you met a woman from Watts, from Orange County. Like, you've made it into the promised land.
Not necessarily made it. I wouldn't say made it, but I would say it is a token situation to meet somebody that's not a part of the crab barrel to pull you down. You know what I mean? Like, that's like, I can honestly say she plays a big role in me making it out of the bucket. You know what I mean? I had a few people that I talked to before I met her that was of the bucket. And, you know, and when I really think about it, like, just think, you know, if this person grew up in the bucket and I grew up in the bucket and we have a baby in the bucket and then we buy or move in another house in the bucket, like, I'm in the bucket.
Still in the bucket.
I'm in the bucket.
Is that part of the reason why you didn't want to bring her in the house? Less so of embarrassment and more so of I don't want to bring that in the bucket?
It was I don't really want to bring her in the bucket. It wasn't embarrassment. It was like, you know what I mean? Like, cause like, one thing about people who are not from the hood is it's easier for them to get attached to the bucket. Which she could have got attached to the bucket. You know what I mean? But a lot of people, like, you see these kids that ain't from the city. You see these fucking kids out here acting hood. What the fuck y'all acting hood for in Canada? For what? You know what I mean? Like, I'm from Canada, I'm from this, bro. For what, nigga? Nigga, your murder rate is 0 out here. or like 1 point something out here. Like, you don't have to be a thug. You don't have to be hard. You can have a good life. Like, so, you know, some people who are not from the bucket, they see the bucket and be like, this is cool.
Mesmerized.
This is like that little life I lived, the perfect, you know what I mean? Like, so I was just like, not saying that she would be like, oh, I want to move from my fucking Laguna Beach mansion into a project house, but it's intriguing to some people, you know what I mean? And before you know it, you know, you can get trapped in the bucket.
That's true.
You can get, not even knowing, not even, we've seen it happen. I've seen girls from the top, or not girls, but I've seen people from, you know, in the place we're trying to get, come to the bucket and end up being part of the bucket.
Because they want to prove how hood they are.
You know, like, let's take the movie, you know, like Malibu's Most Wanted. Like, that's a prime example of somebody who don't even have to deal with none of this type of shit, and comes to the bucket and just be like, nigga, I want to be O-Dog. You know what I mean? I want to be with, but that's what movies do. Movies help program.
Mm-hmm.
I know this because I'm a director myself. You know, movies help program. And like I said, it was, you know, I didn't want to really, it wasn't me so just trying to bring her into the house because I was embarrassed of the situation. It was more so like, if I want to get out of this, why would this be something I try to get her used to? You know, so, you know, after a few days in, you know, we was like, you know, fuck it, we'll stay in the car. You know what I mean? You know, we'll keep pushing, keep grinding until I get what I'm going to get, or till we get where we going to get, and then we'll get the fuck out of there.
We stayed in the car for a while, too.
Yeah.
We lived, and with a big old pit bull bulldog in the back seat, in a hatchback.
That's absolute love.
So what made you, like, basically want to stay and thug that situation out? Like, you see
Living
some
in the
potential? Like what potential did you see?
She was in love. She was attached.
I mean, it had to do with that, but I was also like, I like living in Watts for that majority of the time. I started to understand life more. I feel like it was a life experience for me, coming up from something where I didn't have to worry about anything and didn't know about this stuff, to being in this environment, and I'm just like I started appreciating life, you know, because it was like, wow, like these people go through it, and if they only knew mentally, they did not have to go through it. So it made me like wanting to understand and just like, you know, appreciate their life. I mean, you know what I mean, like, if you're from the hood, I don't think they really think about it. Because, I mean, like I said, it's all mental. Like, you can get out the hood. People from Watts stay in Watts. They stay on the same corner, like, 24/7.
You can't think outside the box when you're in a box. Like, you can't. Like, you can't think outside the box when you're in a box and there's a Jack in the Box on every corner. You just can't. Like, this is just impossible. Like,
All Central.
And, you know, not even that, like, Watts itself is one big box. Like she said, it goes 103rd Street, Imperial, fucking Alameda, Central. You know, it's a big fucking box, like projects on each corner. So, you know, at the end of the day, as much as we want to feel like we gangsters, we're one big square.
Bars.
And you know, just looking at it from the outside in, like, I feel like one of her things, and I think this is what most people who are not from the ghetto never understand, you know, they only judge the ghetto based on what society puts out. The ghetto is bad. These are thugs. These are hoodlums. These are this. So the average people, like I said, I'm in Orange County now, and I finally get to see how people look at the outside, like looking from the outside in, how they feel about people in the slums. And, you know, it's what the media has put in their eyes, is what the world has put in their eyes. It's just, that's the slums, that's the bottom, they're ignorant, they're killing each other, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, that shit is designed like that.
Program.
It's a program, it's a structured program for it to be like that. And, you know, from her case, like, you got some people could judge the hood and has never been. But, like, for her, she actually dipped in it and was like, she got a whiff of the coffee. You know what I mean? It was like, oh shit, this is what's really happening. in here. And you know,
It was a wake up call.
I think it made her not appreciate life only, but tell herself, damn, some people really got silver spoons and some people really have to eat with their hands. You know, and I think that was one of her points of staying, not only just for me, but as a person of herself. I think she stayed with the thought of, I don't only need to help Day, but like I can play a big role to this society myself. Like, you know what I mean? Like I can help this community. You know what I mean? I can speak for the slums, like, because I am from this world and I've tested this world, so now I can speak to these people and tell these people it ain't what you think. So I feel like not only did she stay for me, but she stayed in that scenario for her own destiny, you know, figuring out who she want to be, and not just being a stuck-up girl from Orange County, just saying, you know, all niggas from that area is idiots.
And that goes to show you the heart on it. Because the reason why the news portrays you a certain way is the same reason why they portray the Indians as savages,
Yeah.
or the Africans as godless, because it helps them to do what they want to do to you.
To him down, yeah.
Like, it's hard for you to sit there and watch someone beat a nigga over his back and
Yeah.
break his mentality. It's hard to watch that unless they made you believe that that person deserves it.
Yeah.
Or that person is soulless, or that person is godless or savage. So they convince us that the people in the hood are worthless. And
Programs.
So it's easy to
Program
beat us.
setups.
so it's easy for the Orange County girl to see you and be like, oh, that's a mongrel. He deserves for the police to beat his brains out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?